Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. I'm your host, Dave, and with me today, a very special guest, a person I haven't known for a great amount of time, but the years I've known you have been fantastic. Ryan Fulkerson. Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so you guys will understand through the video, my accent's a little bit different than Dave. I'm a Southern boy from Tennessee. I moved to the Midwest about 4 years ago to work for Rivian. And just a quick little story about Dave. You know, like I said, I've known him for about a couple of years. I was one of the people that interviewed Dave to come to Rivian. And as I'm staring at my Zoom screen, I'm asking questions and he's giving me answers, and I'm kind of distracted a little bit. I'm looking over the top of Dave, and we're thinking this is April or May timing, and I see a full Christmas tree decorated in his living room. So that had to be one of the interesting facts I know about my friend here, Dave.
I don't think the lights were on the Christmas tree. We'd leave it up in the corner of the room. It was in front of a grandfather clock, you know, and also the grandfather clock didn't work. But you know, you get things, the grandfather clock, you get that passed down, and what are you gonna do with it, right? And the Christmas tree, you know, it's so much work to take it down and haul it downstairs. You know, if it's in the corner, just minding its own business, that seems pretty efficient.
It is efficient.
You know?
It's true efficient.
That was a great interview. And I think really what you meant to say was, you know, you and the other people that were involved in the panel probably just couldn't wait to get me on board. And really, since doing so, the trajectory of the company has really been
skyrocket.
And it's probably, you know, maybe I was just a catalyst to that.
I think so.
Maybe I was more than that. Who knows?
But it's definitely an important cog in the wheel.
It's been fun. So when you came to the Midwest, though, you came from Tennessee. That's where you get that accent. How do you have to live in? Like, if you live in the South for a certain number of years, do you acquire the accent?
Dude, I think your parents sound like that.
Does it wear off though?
I don't think so. It hasn't.
You haven't noticed?
It hasn't yet.
But also, before you came to the Midwest, you spent a couple of years over in Japan.
I did.
And that sounds like an interesting thing. The whole family went over there, huh?
Whole family. So my 2-year-old son at the time.
Oh boy.
My wife and I moved to Japan. It was an awesome experience. A 2-year-old in Japan, not so quite an awesome experience, but as he matured a little bit, it got better. The cool thing about living in Japan, though, Dave, is like, it's so hard to travel over there from here without the whole week of just wanting to sleep during the day for jet lag. But you were just positioned there to travel to places like Australia, Thailand, and throughout Japan. You could spend a whole year just traveling throughout Japan.
Really?
It was amazing.
Really? And when you guys were over there, were you in like an American area, or did you speak proficient Japanese, or did you learn in Japanese?
I learned a little bit of Japanese, enough to order food and tell a taxi where to go.
Okay.
Definitely not proficient in Japanese, but we lived in an area that was very expat-y.
Okay.
So
okay.
American English schools, a lot of Japanese as well, but a lot of foreigners.
Still, that's got to be an amazing experience.
It was awesome.
How often did you come back to the States when you were on this assignment?
About once a year.
That's it?
We came home for Christmas every year.
Wow.
And I think 1 year we didn't come home for Christmas. I think we traveled to Australia.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah. That's pretty neat. Let's get into this bourbon because there's a lot of, and I don't know how, I'm going to just shorten this down. I've got 2 pages of research, and you know, when I say research, it's as little as possible, right? I sit down maybe with a couple glasses of bourbon and try to find some stuff online. And when you find things online, like is the case with all news, right? There's always that suspicion of, you know, is what you're reading true, right? And people can go and you know, down a rabbit hole, and all of a sudden you're formulating an opinion based on something you read, which may not be true to begin with.
Right.
I hope that's the case with this.
Okay.
I hope it's the case with this because I think, like you, I tend to be pure of heart, right? And I tend to be trusting of people. That's probably not true, but either way, this is a lot of information here.
Right.
So Baby Jane is what we're having today. Baby Jane comes from the Widow Jane distillery, right?
Okay.
It's an artisanal bourbon distillery, right? It wasn't founded long ago. It was founded in 2012 by inventor Daniel Prieto Preston, and that guy has quite a story that we're going to spend some time talking about.
Okay.
But he founded this. The Baby Jane variety is supposed to be some kind of special corn that they call Baby Jane. And so they decided to distill this special corn into the product. But let me tell you a little bit about this inventor, which is what he calls himself. Okay. Inventor Daniel Prieto Preston. His background is in engineering, like you and me, right? So we can sit around and talk about physics and stuff all day long. Maybe. Because in the articles I was reading, I couldn't actually find any details about his education, right? He did tell reporters in the past that, quote, the last grade I officially graduated from was 5th, which I think there's a couple more grades after that you go to. He did say that he dropped out of college, never earned a degree, but later he claims to be an aerospace engineer. He's currently the CEO of Illuminati Aerospace. His bio there says he received a quote, accelerated college education starting at the age of 12. Then he became a, quote, qualified master scientific glass blower and had, quote, subsequent education in plasma physics and mechanical engineering.
Very impressive.
So this guy is maybe all over the map, right? He started off in business with a company called Preston Glass Industries, which he allegedly sold when he was 22 for $4.6 million. Except there was one owner that knew of Preston and described him as, quote, a cocky young kid, a wise ass who was full of himself, and that he made neon signs. So, qualified master scientific glass blower, which is probably like an apprenticeable journey person skill, right? Or neon sign making. I'm not sure.
They're transferable skills.
Well, I think they build on each other. You're absolutely right. At one point, this company was disbanded, I don't know, sold, whatever. It came back by two partners, Surendra Karnavat and his wife Nalani. They both claim to have lost between $500,000 and $1 million in business with Preston, Mr. Preston, and dissolved in 1998, and they returned to India. After that, Mr. Preston went on to found Ater Aerospace. And the story, this is widely, like every article you read about this guy has this stuff in it. He took up skydiving, because why not? And apparently he was injured in the process, and that's got to be a low percentage of people that get injured skydiving
and
live. Live. But nevertheless, he decided he needed to develop a better parachute, and so that's what he did. Except maybe not. There's an actual parachute designer in Slovenia that denies the accounts, including the company's worth $22 million, and that they're the prime contractor for 15 of the 16 Department of Defense agencies. So don't know that's true. There's also some reference that he may have designed the first commercially sold wingsuit, or maybe not, because that sounds like it was Robert Peknik of Croatia, co-founder of Birdman International. When he sold Ater in 2008, he signed a 5-year non-compete agreement. So he became a chocolatier. He started making chocolate. That's the normal progression, right? Allegedly, his great-grandfather established cacao plantations in the Dominican Republic in the late 1800s, and so he felt the need to expand his family farming operations by 2,000 hectares, which is about 5,000 normal acres. In one interview in 2012, he claims to have built a city for 1,600 employees with schools, churches, a sawmill, a brick factory, large-scale biochar operations, and of course, genetic preservation repositories for rare cacao plants. Except maybe that's also not true. Maybe it is, right? But I couldn't find anything about the plantation. So then he got into the bourbon, and that was really, he says, because he really liked studying how the chocolate and the cacao could be fermented. Okay. And so Widow Jane was the first product. Widow Jane is a distillery, very, very small scale distillery in Red Hook, Brooklyn, New York. And their claim is that they proof all of their products with water from the Widow Jane mines. So about 100 miles north, there's the Rosendale mines in New York. Widow Jane is one of the mines there. And this is a famous place. From 1825 until the early 1910s, limestone and Rosendale cement from this mining area it was used to build the Empire State Building, the pedestal, the Statue of Liberty, the Washington Monument, and then pretty much right after that, the Portland cement was discovered, and they found some refinements in the manufacturing process to make it. Except maybe that's not true either.
Okay.
So the vice president of the board of the Century House Historical Society, Laura Moriarty, said they tried to get Preston to stop using the Widow Jane name. The trustees of the society have published letters stating they have nothing to do with whiskey and no commercial relationship with Preston. They tried to pursue legal disputes, but they're a, quote, really small and struggling volunteer-run organization, and so they just let it go.
Okay.
So who knows what the lineage of this product actually is. I can tell you that inventor Daniel Prieto Preston may have lived a very, and still living, a fantastic life.
Yeah.
And really just dabbled in everything.
Yeah.
He's like the most extraordinary, what's that, the Guinness commercial, is that what that is? Or Corona?
Corona.
Yeah, it's beer, so I don't pay attention. But anyways, so here's the product.
Interesting man in the world. Most interesting man in the world.
That's right. Maybe that should be inventor Daniel Prieto Preston. Either way, here's the product. Baby Jane, nice bottle, nice little bottle. Let's get into the liquid. And as we're doing this, we grade things on 4 categories.
Okay.
Right? So heritage, which I'm not going to try to sway you here.
I mean, it's in the name of the bottle.
Well, the heritage corn.
Yeah.
So maybe you give it extra points for the corn.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually we talk about the lineage of the company.
Okay.
Right? But hey, you do your scoring. That's fine. Maximum is 20 here.
Okay.
Taste and drinkability, maximum of 40.
All right.
Affordability, that's on a scale of 30. This is a $50 offering, actually, so that to start with. And then the design of the bottle, design of the label, design of the company, right? What do you think? And then we rack and stack that.
Sounds good.
You ready?
Let's do it. How do we start?
Well, we start with our neat sample. Cheers to you, Ryan.
Cheers.
You might be tempted, as you're processing this, you might be tempted to say, well, I can really taste some of the vanilla, or I can taste the don't say that on this program.
I will.
This is an Ordinary Guys show.
I don't know those things. I just know what I like.
Yeah, that's right. And then you take yours just with water that's melting, or with just with ice.
Ice melted.
I didn't read the bottle. I read this last night, I think. In pursuit of perfection, we at Widow Jane grow our unique corn varietal, baptized Baby Jane. This special grain delivers a depth and creamy spiced finish that is a rare treat for the most discerning bourbon lover's palate. There you go.
Not bad.
It's not bad. Was it, 91 proof? All right. This is batch 22. All right, let's get to the scoring.
Let's do it.
That heritage corn, I think that might have given it a kick right there. Well, look. Oh, you gotta add them up.
Yeah.
Don't get Ken's help. We when we recorded Old Tub, we got the scoring, and we're going through the scoring and compared. I think it was off by like 17. and it was actually the second time we recorded, because the first time, we're trying to get things right.
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to get things right with the light and the audio and stuff like that. And the first time with the audio, we couldn't get the audio to work right. Like, it wouldn't come through at all.
Right.
And the first time, his score was very close, except the math didn't add up on that one either. So, but he's a good cameraman. So let's get started. Heritage, maximum score of 20.
Yeah.
What did you give it on Heritage?
I gave it a 10 just because it has the word heritage
On the bottle.
printed on the bottle.
I can't argue that.
Yes.
I gave it a 2.
Okay.
Right? And I would have given it a 0. Maybe a negative score for the first time. But you point out that heritage corn. So yeah, I think I gave it a couple points. Taste and drinkability, maximum of 40.
I gave it a 35. I really liked it.
You really liked it?
I really did.
Really?
Yeah.
I was not as big of a fan.
Okay.
I gave it an 18.
All right.
But that's an okay score too.
Yeah.
What about affordability? This is like I said, $50 bottle.
$50 is typically your price point for a good bourbon, so I gave it a 20.
Okay, I gave it a 22. A little bit higher I gave it. Yeah. And then last design, maximum of 10.
I thought the bottle was cool. The label's cool. Give it an 8.
Okay, I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
So what do you have as your final score?
73.
73. That's a good score.
Yeah.
I've got a 48. I was a little more negative, but still, the 48 is not a bad score. We only have 9 scores so far, and this is not the lowest.
I mean, I would consider next time I go into a liquor store to purchase that bottle.
Really?
I enjoyed it.
Really?
Yes.
You really enjoyed
I
it?
did.
That's good. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Until next time, Ordinary Guys Bourbon.